August 26, 1984, began quietly in Martinez, California. A foggy, peaceful Sunday. The Cook family started their day unaware that everything was about to change. In small towns like Martinez, life felt safe, doors were left unlocked, and neighbors trusted each other. Charlotte Cook, 15, was part of this world, one that felt endlessly familiar. But beneath the surface, darkness waited. As the sun burned away the mist, the ordinary day began to unravel. Somewhere in that quiet, a young girl was about to vanish. Her absence would start as a small worry, growing with each hour. A simple errand would become the beginning of a decades-long mystery. The shadow that fell over the Cook home wasn't from clouds, but from the unknown. That Sunday would be remembered not for its peace, but for the silence that followed. For one family, time stopped. The quiet morning became the day Charlotte disappeared. Charlotte Lee Cook was just 15 years old, the youngest of 3 siblings in a close-knit family, living in a quiet California suburb. She was bright, compassionate, and full of life, with a gentle spirit and a deep love for animals. Charlotte dreamed of one day becoming a veterinarian, hoping to help creatures big and small. That summer, she had just landed her very first job at the local Safeway grocery store. Charlotte was thrilled about the opportunity and couldn't wait to pick up her crisp new uniform, a symbol of her growing independence. After a minor disagreement with her older sister that morning, Charlotte decided to walk to the store alone. A familiar route she'd taken countless times before, feeling safe in her own neighborhood. She wore her favorite striped t-shirt and a pair of jeans with a few dollar bills tucked into her pocket, ready to buy a snack on the way home. It was an ordinary Sunday morning, the kind of day when nothing seemed out of place. A teenager heading out with a smile, full of hope for the future. But this time, something unimaginable happened. Charlotte never arrived at the store. No one saw her along the way, and no one heard anything unusual. She simply vanished without a trace. There was no sign of a struggle, no note left behind, and no chance to say goodbye. Her room remained untouched, her belongings just as she'd left them. For her family, the sudden lack of answers was a daily torment, a pain that grew sharper with every passing hour. Days turned into weeks and weeks into years. Hope flickered in their hearts, refusing to die even as time marched on. Did she run away? Was she taken? The questions haunted them, echoing through sleepless nights and empty mornings. The vibrant portrait of Charlotte, once filled with laughter and promise, was now replaced by a missing person poster, her smile frozen in time. What began as the simplest of days became the start of a nightmare that would never truly end. Charlotte's disappearance left a wound in her family that never healed, a void that nothing could fill. All they had left were memories, unanswered questions, and a hope that despite everything refused to fade away. When Charlotte didn't return, worry turned to panic. The Cook family called friends, retraced her route, nothing. Police were alerted and the community mobilized. Flyers went up, volunteers searched parks, woods and the strait. The town's sense of safety was shattered. Days turned to weeks. The search lost momentum. No credible sightings, no ransom, no witnesses. The trail went cold. The Cook's home became a place of waiting. Every phone call a new heartbreak. Life became a cycle of hope and despair. The world moved on, but the Cooks were trapped in 1984. Flyers faded, Charlotte's smile bleaching away. The case went cold, but for her family the pain never did. They endured questions, sympathetic glances, and endless uncertainty. The mystery of Charlotte's fate became the defining tragedy of their lives. Joseph Naso lived quietly in Reno, Nevada, a loner, a photographer. His camera was his tool, but his focus was sinister, women on the margins, often unnoticed. Naso documented his victims with chilling precision, hiding in plain sight. His crimes spanned decades, his victims often sharing the same initials as their place of death. He moved often, evading law enforcement. His photographs were trophies, his diary a cold record of his violence. Naso preyed on the vulnerable, counting on their invisibility. He kept his secrets boxed away. Photos, journals, a handwritten list of 10 victims. Only 4 would ever be identified. Among his archives was a photograph that would unlock a decades-old mystery. Joseph Naso's downfall began with a routine probation check in 2011. Officers found disturbing photos, ammunition, and a diary detailing 10 murders. The evidence was overwhelming. Naso was a serial killer hiding in plain sight. The diary pointed to victims in Northern California. Marin County authorities connected him to the double initial murders. Naso was charged with 4 murders, all women found strangled in rural California. He represented himself in court, revealing his arrogance and lack of remorse. Investigators suspected more victims. His photos showed dozens of unidentified women. His diaries hinted at a lifetime of violence. While the justice system focused on 4 victims, others began searching for the rest. The hunt for answers was far from over. Enter Richard Walter, forensic psychologist and founding member of the VDOC Society. Walter's method understood the killer's fantasy to find their victims. For Naso, the photographs were everything, trophies of control. Walter immersed himself in Naso's archives, searching for anomalies. He looked for the victim who didn't fit the known pattern, a crime of opportunity. Walter's unique skill was connecting with killers, coaxing out secrets. He believed Naso's pride would reveal more. Somewhere in the chaos, Walter was sure was a clue to a long-silenced victim. He just had to find it. As Walter meticulously sifted through Naso's belongings, he stumbled upon a photograph that felt distinctly different from the rest. It depicted a young blonde woman dressed in a striped shirt lying near a creek bed. Her stillness was unnaturally profound. Unlike the other photos in Naso's collection, this one exuded a quietness, almost serene, yet deeply unsettling aura that was hard to ignore. Walter had a strong intuition that this woman was not among the known victims catalogued in the case files. He promptly reached out to the Martinez investigators, suspecting a potential link to their long-missing teenager, a case that had haunted them for years. The photograph was carefully sent to the Cook family, who had been waiting for answers for decades. Charlotte's sister recognized the shirt instantly. It was unmistakably what Charlotte wore on the fateful day she vanished without a trace. After 27 long years, the family finally had an answer, a bittersweet closure to their relentless search. The photograph served as undeniable proof Charlotte had indeed crossed paths with the notorious Naso. This discovery was a significant breakthrough, connecting the suburban girl to the serial killer, a link that had eluded investigators for years. For the investigators, it confirmed their long-held suspicions of more victims, expanding the scope of their investigation. The image, once silent, now became a powerful witness, finally speaking volumes after decades of silence. Walter's meticulous and dedicated work had unlocked a haunting mystery, bringing long-awaited answers to light. The Cook family's nightmare, which had haunted them for years, now had a name and a face. The truth, though devastating, had finally come to light, bringing a new dawn to a small California town. The photograph's discovery brought shock and complicated grief to the Cook family. Hope was extinguished, replaced by brutal certainty. They could finally mourn, but the pain was immense. In court, the photo became powerful evidence, revealing Naso's true depravity. It showed the jury the scope of his crimes, even beyond the charges. Naso was found guilty of 4 murders and sentenced to death in 2013. Charlotte's case was never formally tried, but the photo was its own conviction. Walter's discovery brought a different kind of justice, the justice of knowing. The case showed the power of forensic investigation and relentless pursuit. One photograph unraveled a decades-old secret and gave a family the truth. Closure is elusive for families like the Cooks. Even when the truth finally emerges, it rarely brings the peace they so desperately seek. The truth brought answers but not healing. The pain of loss lingers, woven into the fabric of their daily lives, a constant reminder of what was taken. The years lost, the future stolen, could never be returned. Birthdays, graduations, and quiet moments around the dinner table all became memories that never had the chance to exist. Solving such cases means engaging with evil, a grim necessity to give voice to the voiceless. Investigators must confront the darkest corners of humanity, driven by a sense of duty and compassion. The work honors victims, providing answers and hope for prevention. Each solved case is a promise to the community that justice, though delayed, is never denied. Charlotte was more than a victim. She was a daughter, a sister, a girl with dreams. She laughed, she loved, and she hoped for a future that was cruelly taken from her. Her story is a reminder of life's fragility and the darkness that can hide in plain sight. Even in the safest neighborhoods, tragedy can strike without warning. Remembering her reclaims her humanity from the man who tried to erase it. By telling her story, we ensure she is not defined by her final moments, but by the life she lived. For 27 years her family waited, but they never gave up. Their hope was a quiet, steady force, refusing to let her memory fade into silence. A probation officer's diligence, a detective's persistence, and a psychologist's insight converged to break the silence. It was a team effort, fueled by empathy and determination. No case is ever truly hopeless. No victim is ever forgotten as long as someone keeps searching. Every file, every clue, every late night spent poring over evidence matters. The echo of Charlotte's life, silenced for so long, was finally heard. Her family's tears were joined by a community's sigh of relief, and her memory was honored at last. Her story is a quiet but powerful reminder to never stop searching for the truth. In remembering Charlotte, we remember the value of every life and the enduring strength of hope.